As a wrestling fan, there's one stigma that I always get, and I always fail to understand and fail to realize what people are talking about, and that is the stigma that when people spread their propaganda about how good something is, that I have to follow it. And that couldn't be any further from the truth. Like, you see professional wrestling fans today, and professional wrestling reviewers and online journalists that continuously say, for example, WrestleMania 17 is the greatest WrestleMania in terms of in-ring action of all time, and I will say, it's not great, but it's damn good, but it's not great, and I will always hate the show for a couple of different reasons. Like, people say today that WrestleMania 31 is the single greatest in-ring WrestleMania of all time, and once again I say it was good, it wasn't great, and most of the show was ruined by stupidity. And I hate the fact that people spread their propaganda, and 9 times out of 10 they expect me to follow it. That's not the case. In my opinion, everybody has an opinion. I have my own. So when people come up to me and say, oh wow, you have to go back and watch Extreme Rules 2015 because it was a damn good show, I turn at them and say, please tell me why you think that. Because I look at Extreme Rules 2015, there were pretty much 2 matches that I really liked, and then the rest of it was crap. And not one of those 2 matches involved the main event. Extreme Rules 2015 was decent. It was not good. It was definitely not great, but I don't even think it was good. You had a couple of different redeeming qualities, but that does not make it a good show. There needs to be enough redeeming qualities on the show for a show to be classified as a good show. And Extreme Rules 2015 was not. Neville versus Bad News Barrett on the pre-show. Solid match. Neville went over, which is good. But there was no story to this. There was no care to this. And if you're telling me there was care to this match, please explain to me that WWE cared so much that they decided to put it on the pre-show. Shows me that they don't care that much about this match or this feud or these superstars. Sorry, but it's the truth. And Neville goes over, which is good, but I look back at it, it's January 2016, and really, where is he today? He's still in the same spot that he was back in April. I know it takes a while to build a star, but by now, there needs to be a reason to think that he can be a big star, and there's not. I know a lot of you will say, oh, wrestling ability. It takes a lot more than that in today's wrestling business. And again, that's another example of people spreading their propaganda, because a lot of people think that wrestling ability is the only thing that matters in professional wrestling. If that was the case, then guys like Daniel Bryan would have held a world title 7 times in WWE. A guy like CM Punk would have held 15 fucking world titles in WWE. A guy like AJ Styles would be getting WrestleMania main events. That's not the case in today's WWE, no matter how much you believe it. It's not. It takes more to build a star than in-ring skills. In-ring skills are definitely a part of it. They definitely play a part in it. But they don't make a star. You need to have a total package in today's WWE. And now there's no one that does. There's not a lot of people that do. And I don't think Neville does. So yeah, Neville goes over here. But the match is on the pre-show. There's no story to this. It just happens. It happens and it's done with. There's no follow-up to this. There's nothing. It's kind of stupid. The first of the 2 matches that I really enjoyed on this card, Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper, was a really, really fun match. Was it good? Yes. Was it great? No. But was it a fun match that I could actually sit through and enjoy? Yes. You did the brawling around the ring, brawling to the backstage area, and then all of a sudden they jump in a car to leave the arena, which I thought was pretty cool. My one complaint about this match is maybe you could have did something like, like what WWE did with Goldust and Roddy Piper back at WrestleMania 12, and actually have a helicopter that follows them around with a camera to track their whereabouts around the city of Chicago. I thought that would have been pretty cool. Something creative like that can really help make the match really memorable and really good. That was my only gripe about this match, but it's a fun match to go back and watch, especially the parts that were in the ring. Dolph Ziggler defeating Sheamus in a Kiss My Arse match. This match happened. All I have to say about it. The one thing I did like about this match is that even though Sheamus lost, you were building him as a top heel. You were trying to establish him as a heel. So the post-match attack on Ziggler was really, I wouldn't say it was good, but it was worth it in the end. You're trying to build Sheamus up as a top heel, so it's a good way to do it. But again, this just shows you how irrelevant Dolph Ziggler is, because it seems like he always gets these matches at pay-per-views and then they never follow up on it, because look at Extreme Rules and then follow it up with Payback. You have the rematch. Where did Ziggler go after that? You fucking launched him to the moon at Survivor Series in 2014, and then you put him back in the mid-card, have him win the IC title again, meaningless championship again, with meaningless opponents again, in meaningless stories again, in a meaningless spot again. I'm sorry for whoever's a Ziggler fan. Be a fan of his. But I don't like this match. The stipulation was stupid, and even though Sheamus should have won, he didn't. Even though I liked that Sheamus did that post-match thing, Sheamus should have went over here. Like, you're trying to build him up, so why is he losing? It's just an opinion. What a difference a couple of months makes. I remember going and watching this show and remember seeing New Day being completely 100% totally booed in the city of Chicago because the people just did not like them. And I understand why they didn't like them. Their characters at the time were a little bit, they weren't entertaining. There was something about them that was missing. What a difference a couple of months makes now, because you look at January and they're the most entertaining part of your product. But this match, with them defeating Tyson Kidd and Cesaro for the WWE tag titles, was decent. It was not great. There were a couple of botches in there that kind of ruined the flow of the match. New Day went over, which is good, but again, it's just a random mid-card tag match. You see them in every WWE pay-per-view. There's no build to it. There's no story to it. There's not a lot of care to it. And it just becomes a big hassle to watch. Because if WWE doesn't care, then why the fuck should I? Another gripe that I have about this match is, why did it not have a stipulation? You're at Extreme Rules. Why doesn't this have a stipulation? Doesn't make sense to me. The one thing that definitely didn't make sense to me was this goddamn Russian chain match between John Cena and Rusev. First of all, I knew how the match was going to go about. Cena was going to be down 3 turnbuckles, and then he would tag all 3, and then something screwy happens, and he magically touches the 4th turnbuckle to win the match. It's the same with every chain match, every strap match, every bull rope match. It's the same case every time. And I find it weird that that's more of a heel tactic. So why is John Cena doing it? It doesn't make sense. I knew from the beginning that John Cena was going to win this match, but this match sucked. This match was easily the worst match of the night. What a surprise that a match involving John Cena and a young star was classified as the worst match of the night. Then we get to Nikki Bella versus Naomi for the Divas title, and no one cared. Again, it's Extreme Rules. Do you want to put some shine on the Divas, put some build on them? Why not give this match a stipulation and a build up to that? Why not? You know, you did a Divas tables match. Why not do a Divas ladder match? Do a Divas, like a chairs match or something stupid like that. Give them some kind of a spark instead of having 7 minutes of the same crap that we see on Raw every single week. It's ridiculous. The one match on this show, other than the Ambrose-Harper match, that I really enjoyed, and I was surprised that I actually enjoyed it so much, was the Last Man Standing match between Reigns and The Big Show. Reigns went over, which is really damn good, but this match shocked me. Easily the best match of the night, other than Ambrose and Harper. This match was easily the best match of the night, and easily, if you want to go back and watch Extreme Rules 2015, I recommend you go watch that match. The match was really damn good. You know, I know Reigns used a heelish tactic at the end of the match in order to win, but it didn't come across as something as bad as John Cena duct taping Batista's legs to the fucking turnbuckle or the ring post. You know, Reigns went over against a veteran like The Big Show, a singles victory against another veteran just like the one you had at Fastlane against Daniel Bryan. Good. Keep building up Roman Reigns as the top star. Keep doing it. Look at him now. He's world champion. You know, the slow build sometimes works. It's working for him. I'll give him that one. Then you get to the main event. Yeah. This match was not good. You really want to know how to send a Chicago crowd home unhappily? This cage match was definitely a reason. Because I don't know what happened, but that same chemistry that Rollins and Randy Orton had at WrestleMania, they didn't have here. And, you know, Seth Rollins, he went over with help, which is fine, but the match just sucked. The timing of their stuff was off. It had in a match like a steel cage match where you have somebody like Seth Rollins who can actually use the cage to his advantage by giving us these big spots. There were none. And a match that, in my opinion, you need to pick up the pace for. In a steel cage match, the disadvantage that you have is using the elements around ringside. So that way, that means you have to do every single thing in the ring, and you have to make it work. Well, they didn't make it work. I don't know what happened. The timing of this match just was off. It wasn't good. The crowd hated it. And when I watched it back, I couldn't sit through it. But I will say one thing. Rollins went over against Randy Orton. Just like Rollins went over against Dean Ambrose. Just like Rollins won the title at WrestleMania. You were trying to build him up as the top heel in the company. Other than Sheamus being the second one, you were building him up as the top heel. So I applaud WWE for continuing to build him as world champion, because I think that at first his title reign was good. Then it started to become bland later on, but I will get to that in a later review down the road. But a poor ending to an otherwise forgettable Extreme Rules 2015.